6 years ago, a car wash employee did something that wasn't his job. It wasn't in his training manual, and it definitely wasn't a service that they offered. But that single act of being useful made me a loyal member for life, and I'm still paying $40 a month to that car wash today. I'm going to show you how to train your entire team to create these moments that turn one-time visitors into lifetime evangelists for your business. So if you're frustrated watching your team stick to their job descriptions while opportunities to wow customers just walk past them, or if you wonder why some businesses create raving fans while others struggle to get customers to come back a second time, this episode is for you. I'm Josh Taylor. I'm the CMO of OptSpot. And over the last 5 years, we've helped 500 car washes across North America. And we've discovered that the most successful operators have something in common. They've mastered the art of being useful beyond their core services. So in this episode, you're going to learn the 2-word philosophy that can transform your team culture. I'm going to share 3 real-world examples of how being useful created customers for life. And by the end, you'll have a simple training framework that you can implement with your team starting this week. Now, most car wash employees are trained to think inside very specific boxes. I run the tunnel. I vacuum the cars. I work the pay station. But here's what happens when your team thinks this way. A few years ago, I was driving with my son when he got sick in the car and he threw up in the back seat. Now, as any parent knows, this created an immediate crisis. I needed to get that mess cleaned up fast, but I was a long way from home. I spotted a local car wash. I pulled in, hoping that they might have a mat washing station, but they didn't. So I walked up to the 2 employees that were prepping cars at the tunnel, and I asked if they could help. Now, most employees would have simply said, "Sorry, we don't offer that service," and they would have sent me on my way. But this is where everything changed. There's a real cost to not my job thinking. The average car wash loses 60% of first-time customers who never return. Customers tell 15 people about poor experiences versus only 3 about good ones. And you end up competing on price instead of value when you don't create emotional connections. So the missed opportunities happen every single day. The customer that's struggling with car seats, the elderly person who can't reach the high spots on their car, the parent dealing with spilled drinks, or the business person that's rushing to an important meeting. Your team walks past these moments thinking, "Not my problem," while your competitors down the street are creating customers for life. The employees at that car wash, they could have easily said no to me. Cleaning floor mats wasn't their job. It wasn't a service that they offered. But instead, they saw a dad dealing with a messy situation and a sick kid, and they chose to be useful. So they grabbed the pressure washer, they cleaned my mat up, and they refused any payment. Of course, I tipped them, but that wasn't their policy. That wasn't training. That was being human and being useful. So this is the 2-word training framework I want you to implement. Be useful. And this isn't just about customer success and customer service. This is about business transformation. And here's how it works. First, expand the definition of customer success. Customer success isn't just a clean car. It's solving the problem they came to you to solve. And sometimes that problem is bigger than what they're paying for. Second, empower your team to make judgment calls. Give them permission to step outside their job description. Set boundaries for the time and the cost, but encourage the initiative. Make being useful part of performance reviews. Third, celebrate these moments. When team members go above and beyond, tell the story. Make heroes out of employees who choose to be useful. Share these stories in team meetings, on social media, anywhere that you can. I want to give you another example. I was at a restaurant with my son when he was still an infant in his car seat. An employee approached our table and he said, "Sir, I can see that you're enjoying dinner with your son. If there's anything you need while you're having dinner, please don't get up. Just wave me down and I'll take care of it for you." He said the exact same thing the next 2 times I visited that restaurant. I still remember his name. His name was Skylar. No one else at that restaurant has ever said that to me before or since then. But Skylar understood my real problem wasn't hunger. It was trying to enjoy a meal while managing my infant. So here's the connection to what we teach at OptSpot. Your customers are the heroes of their story. They have external problems like a dirty car, but they also have internal problems like stress and time pressure. Being useful addresses both levels of those problems, and then you become the guide who truly understands the world they're living in. Here's something you need to know. You're not in the car wash business. You're in the problem-solving business. Your car wash is just the tool to solve problems for people. I want to share another story that shows the business impact of this philosophy. 10 years ago, my car's air conditioning randomly stopped working. And in the summertime in the South, that's not good. I took it to a local oil change place. Now, they could have easily charged me $200 to fix my AC problem. Instead, the technician popped open the hood. He diagnosed that it was just a blown fuse, and then he did something remarkable. He showed me where the fuse was located. He told me where to buy a replacement fuse, and he taught me how to change it myself. This was a 1-minute fix that he could have charged hundreds of dollars for. Here are the results of that. I've been going to that oil change place for 10 years now. They're more expensive than their competitors, but guess what? I tell anyone who asks about where to get oil changes to go there, and I tell them that story. My lifetime value to that business is probably more than $5,000 because I also buy my tires from them too. All because one employee chose to be useful instead of profitable in that moment. Now let's talk about the math on customer lifetime value. The average person washes their car 2 to 6 times per year at $15 each. That's about $30 to $90 annually. But a loyal member pays $25 to $40 per month. That's $300 to $450 annually. That's a 300 to 1,600% increase in annual revenue per customer. And members who have that kind of moment with your business, they stay longer. One Be Useful moment can transform a $300 lifetime value into $1,500 or more. And that car wash where they clean my mat, 6 years later, I'm still a member paying $40 every month on their top plan. And nothing particularly special has happened since then, but I always remember that time when they chose to be useful instead of simply saying no. And the trust factor is everything. That single moment of being useful built enough trust that I not only became a member, but I upgraded to their top plan. And that employee didn't just help me clean a mat, he turned a $60 annual retail customer into a $3,000 member over the last 6 years. And for that oil change place, 10 years later, I'm still loyal, plus everyone I've referred by telling that story, I've probably made them tens of thousands of dollars. This is the difference between transactional thinking and transformational thinking. The car wash employee could have focused on the transaction. We don't offer mat cleaning. Instead, he focused on my transformation from a stressed dad to a relieved customer. And that transformation created a member, not just a one-time buyer. So here's how to implement the Be Useful training with your team. On week 1, it's all about the mindset shift. Share these stories with your team. Ask, what would being useful look like in our business? Brainstorm scenarios where customers need help beyond your core services. On week 2, give permission and boundaries. Give explicit permission to step outside of the job description, but set clear boundaries. Maybe it's 5 minutes max or no cost over $10. Create a useful moments reporting system. On week 3, practice scenarios. Role play common situations like crying kids, elderly customers, time-stressed business people. Practice the phrase, how can I be most useful to them right now? And train your team to look for stress signals and unspoken needs. And on week 4, celebrate and measure. Create a Be Useful Hero Award for team meetings. Track customer feedback where they mention employees going above and beyond. Measure retention rates and referral increases. For daily implementation, start every shift with how can we be useful today? Put it on a banner in your break room. End every shift with what useful moments did we create today? Make being useful part of your hiring criteria and your performance reviews. And remember, your competition, they can copy your equipment, they can copy your prices, they can even copy your marketing, but they can't copy a team culture that genuinely cares about being useful. I've created a free Be Useful team training guide that includes everything we talked about today: role-playing scenarios, daily check-in questions, and a tracking system to measure the impact on your business. You can click the link below and download it for free. It's got the 4-week implementation plan, all the practice scenarios, and even quick reference cards for your team members. And if you found this episode valuable, subscribe to this channel for more car wash marketing insights that help you compete and win in your local market. And remember, competence gets you customers. Being useful gets you evangelists. Your team already has everything they need to implement this. They just need permission and encouragement to care beyond their job description. Train them to be useful and watch what happens to your business. I'll see you next week.